Today, much of the world is still in the dark. With electricity comes security, productivity, comfort, and prosperity. But most of all, electricity brings hope. Just as the electric cooperatives changed America's rural communities 70 years ago, NRECA International is now doing the same for millions of people in developing countries by electrifying the world one village at a time. To accomplish this mission, NRECA International partners with the many generous cooperatives that provide volunteers, equipment, and support. Another important facet is the relationship with U.S. government programs and agencies who provide the funding. One example is the Food for Progress Act, a program of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This program provides surplus U.S. agriculture commodities to developing countries committed to introducing and expanding free enterprise in the agricultural sector. In 1999, the USDA awarded NRECA International the first of several surplus agriculture commodity grants under this program. In total, the USDA FAS funds have helped NRECA implement projects to benefit over 1.4 million people in rural communities in Bolivia, Dominican Republic, the Philippines, and Guatemala. Today, we're going to look at 3 success stories in Guatemala. Although these 3 stories are very different, they have 2 things in common. They all illustrate the effect of using electricity productively. And, most of all, they work. We start in Santa Lucia, Milpas Altas, near the colonial city of Antigua. The Milpas Altas furniture factory produces quality pieces for sale in local markets and for export to the U.S., and employs over 400 people at peak production times. Funding provided through NRECA International allowed the factory to increase its energy capacity. The advent of increased electricity, in turn, drove higher production output. This allowed the factory to create more jobs for residents and spur greater investment in local raw materials, such as rubber wood, which is treated and dried on site.
Our factory mainly has been dedicated to make furniture for the U.S. market. We have a great deal of relation with the American products. Most of our machinery is coming from the United States. We have received financial support by the NRECA USDA, which has helped a lot to improve our energy capacity and also the taking of advantage of all the different workouts that we have in the factory. We have been working very close to NRECA, who has helped us a lot to improve our operation.
Next, we travel north to the rural Mayan region in the highlands near the Mexico border. Here in the area called El Quiche, the Ventura family owns and operates an apple orchard business. Jose Ventura, the family patriarch, had a problem. He didn't have cold storage to store his crop when harvested. So he was forced to sell the apples directly to middlemen as soon as they were picked, often at a loss because he couldn't always sell at peak demand. The middlemen would then store the apples in refrigeration until demand was high and turn a nice profit. Jose realized that he could better provide for his family if he could place his apples in his own cold storage.
Anteriormente nosotros teníamos manzanas, pero realmente no hay dónde venderlos, sino que directamente a los revendedores, y los revendedores no pagan el precio. Gracias a Dios, por parte de NRECA, Departamento de Agricultura de los Estados Unidos, nos apoyaron con un gran crédito para montar un cuarto frío. El cuarto frío contiene 4,000 cajas de 50 libras.
Today, the Ventura family runs a thriving business that has allowed them to expand into other crops, such as plums, peaches, and avocados. And they have increased their staff to 14 to help with picking, packing, storing, and transporting the produce to the market.
Damos, así como digo, el NRECA y el Departamento de Agricultura de los Estados Unidos, pues nosotros a través de eso que ellos nos ayudaron con con el monto del préstamo, con nosotros estamos pagando anualmente, tenemos un compromiso, una obligación que tenemos que cumplirlo, y hablar de un compromiso y una obligación es una responsabilidad que nosotros tenemos.
Just like many other rural villages in Guatemala, Cerro de Oro is cut off from the benefits of the information age we take for granted in our modern world. But thanks to the vision of an association of young professionals, Cerro de Oro now has reliable internet and cable TV service.
Surgió la idea de un internet y después de obtener un financiamiento del Departamento de Agricultura de los Estados Unidos y NRECA, pues de ahí, en base a eso, surgió la idea de implementar cable por televisión.
With a loan from NRECA and USDA, the Guatemalan Association for Rural Development has established the first of 3 internet centers in town. Local townspeople are learning not only about current events, but also new ways of doing business.
Se hace a través de internet, se ahorra energía, se ahorra mucho el recurso económico en viaje, se ahorra en tiempo, y yo creo que es el nuevo proyecto para el siglo XXII o XXI, final del siglo XXI, no venir tan lejos, ¿verdad? Un par de años más, el trabajar por internet y pagar cualquier tipo de negocios, cualquier tipo de cuestiones laborales se puede hacer por internet, es de gran uso. Eso es, empresarialmente es de gran beneficio, y si hay empresa, hay productividad, hay desarrollo. Mientras que no hay empresa, mientras que no hay ingreso económico en las familias, no puede haber desarrollo.
The cable TV company currently has 5 antennas and 20 TV channels that half the town can now access for a basic connection fee. They intend to continue expanding service so that one day the whole town has access to new and interesting programs.
Y el beneficio es que dentro de los canales de televisión también hay programas educativos. Por ejemplo, el Discovery Channel y Animal Planeta. Son ciencias que aquí se desconocía, pero ahorita a través de la televisión por cable ya se está dando a conocer a la gente.
NRECA International Foundation has partnered with U.S. co-ops to help provide training to local utilities and municipalities to help improve and expand service and lessen technical losses. They are also providing equipment and vehicles to enhance productivity. Reliable and affordable energy are key elements for a growing economy.
We, as a cooperative in the United States, are very willing to help improve the technical aspects of their municipal utility, but we also ask something in return, and is that they not only take and utilize some of the equipment and training that we provide, but they take it to the next level. We ask them to make a commitment that they change their processes, they change their plan of how they do work, including how they work safely.
As Americans, we should be proud of how far we have grown as a nation. Many of us have heard the stories from our fathers or grandfathers of when the first utility truck rolled up to the farm to connect that first light. 70 years later, America is taking that first light to other rural areas worldwide. NRECA International, in partnership with USDA and the electric cooperatives, are extending a helping hand and transforming the lives of families overseas. We are bringing hope to future generations. Together, we are electrifying the world, one village at a time.